have 9 o'clock.
We're at 9 o'clock?
Or 7. All right, just for reference. I have my phone set
says
at military time,
Yeah.
1900. I just said the wrong thing. It is 7 o'clock p.m. Thank you. We're good for the ICRC. Thank you very much. All right, so welcome to our, what month is it? August meeting. I don't want to say anything else wrong tonight. Marshall will get me. Welcome to our August meeting tonight. We do want to get started, as we always do, by standing for the prayer for NCH City Council and then the Pledge of Allegiance. God our Father, we are all your servants. We trust in your mercy and love. We trust also in your guidance. Direct the meetings of this council of North College Hill to make good decisions for all the people who live in our city. Give all the members of this council wisdom and insight to know what is best for our city. Help us to be fair and just in all our decisions. Bless us all to do the very best we can with your help and guidance. We pray this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
We'll call this meeting to order. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, well, it's good to see everyone come out tonight. If you do wish to address council this evening, please sign in with our clerk, Mr. Hedger, down here on the end of the table. And with that, we'll get started. Mr. Hedger, please call the roll.
Ms. Orb.
Here.
Ms. Gaston.
Here.
Ms. Chichester.
Here.
Ms. Alexander.
Here.
Mr. Wilson.
Present.
Mr. Davis.
Here.
Ms. Underwood.
Here.
All right, thank you. We have tonight's agenda.
Mr. President,
Ms. Underwood?
I have, before I move to amend the agenda, I have a question for Mr. Dieters. So I had called Mr. Dieters to ask him about the item of legislation that we voted on during a special meeting, and the vote was tied 2-2. And it was my understanding that you were going to research that and give me a final determination with regard to what that meant for that item of legislation.
Yes, Mr. President, so my understanding is that there was an item on the agenda that there were 2 votes for and 2 votes against. So it really didn't pass, but it really didn't fail either. So it's just like as a no vote under the rules. Your council rules don't specifically address it. Therefore, you would look at Robert's Rules of Order, and Robert's Rules of Order would indicate that it doesn't pass and it hasn't failed. So it's just still sitting there as if it wasn't voted on.
Based on what Mr. Dieter said, Mr. President, at this time, I would like to move to amend the agenda to add that item of legislation, which I'm not really sure what the number is. Ms. Dukestein, do you have the number?
Mr. Hedger, do you have the number for that one?
I don't recall which one.
It was the, here, I'll look it up.
It was 0325 if I'm not,
I can, what is the
11.
resolution?
let me see.
I think it's 04.
No, 04 is on here already.
Okay, 03 then.
That's what I thought. it was.
03-2025.
For resolution?
Let me look.
Oh,
Uh,
12.
It's 12.
12.
This is the RW,
Yeah.
yeah, 12.
Sorry, I didn't.
So
I'm
it's
sorry.
Resolution 12.
Yes.
Is that what it is, resolution?
Yes,
Yes.
Resolution 12.
Mr. President, I move that we add Resolution 12 to the agenda under legislation.
Can we read the resolution name, please?
You give me just a moment.
You want a copy of it?
Yes, that would be helpful. I was going to look through our prior emails from Mr. Hedger.
We didn't really speak about it, so I just.
Okay, no worries, thank you. Mr. President, I move that we amend the agenda to add resolution number 12-2025, a resolution to approve the contract with RWB Properties and Construction for the North College Hill City Center stabilization and to declare an urgent necessity in accordance with Ohio Revised Code Section 735.051 and to declare an emergency.
Mr. Dieters, does that just go on as third reading then? As it was? It was third reading at the last
Whatever the
last
status
meeting.
of it was before, it would go on at the same spot.
Okay. Okay, I have a motion on the floor to amend the agenda by adding Resolution 12-2025 for third reading to legislation.
Mr. President,
Ms. Chichester.
I second that motion.
Motion to amend the agenda by adding Resolution 12-2025 for third reading by Ms. Underwood, seconded by Ms. Chichester. Discussion.
Mr. President,
Ms. Zorb.
so, I'm really confused by this because the charter does clearly state that it takes 4 yes votes to pass any point of legislation.
Yes,
Not
it
only
does.
that, that piece of legislation has an emergency clause on it.
Right, but it takes 4 to pass, but it also didn't have a majority at the meeting to fail either, so there was no vote. See what I'm saying? Like, if there would have been 3 against, then it would have been over with and would have to have gone through the same process against. But since it was 2-2, there was not an affirmative nor a negative. It's just as if it was a no vote.
As if it was a no vote.
No vote, a vote did not occur. Not a negative vote, not a positive vote. It just sits there kind of in limbo.
But we did vote.
You did, but there was no decision made.
The decision according to the charter is it didn't pass.
Maybe we're not going to agree, but
We're never going to agree on this one.
My advice to council is that it did not fail and it did not pass. Therefore, it can be brought back as long as you agree to amend the agenda.
Any other discussion?
This is 12, right? The 12.
All right, hearing no other discussion, I have a motion on the floor to amend the agenda by adding I have a motion on the floor to amend the agenda by adding Resolution 12-2025 for third reading by Ms. Underwood, second by Ms. Chichester. Mr. Hedger, please call the roll.
Ms. Zorb,
Absolutely not.
Ms. Gaston,
No.
Ms. Chichester,
Yes.
Ms. Alexander,
No.
Mr. Wilson,
Yes.
Mr. Davis,
No.
Ms. Underwood.
Yes.
Motion failed 4-3.
Still need to pass tonight's agenda.
Mr. President,
Ms. Zorb.
I'll make a motion to accept the agenda as presented.
Mr. President,
Ms. Gaston.
I second.
Motion by Ms. Zorb, second by Ms. Gaston to adopt tonight's agenda as presented. Any discussion? Mr. Hedger, please call the roll.
Ms. Zorb,
Yes.
Ms. Gaston,
Yes.
Ms. Chichester,
Yes.
Ms. Alexander,
Yes.
Mr. Wilson,
No.
Mr. Davis,
Yes.
Ms. Underwood.
Yes.
Motion passed 6-1.
All right, we do not have minutes from the previous meetings at this time, so we'll get those for the next meeting. Next is communication. Mr. Hedger, do you have any communication this evening?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I have received the final scanned copies from Iron Mountain for all of council's documents. I received them last month. I have not had a chance to review them in whole yet, so I'm still in the process of doing that. Once I have reviewed them and confirmed with them, they will send the documents that have been scanned back to us. As of now, we're standing at about $9,000 in invoices from them. so far, so well under the estimated budget. That is all.
Mr. President.
Ms. Orb?
Mr. Hedger, just for my understanding, how will you put them on the website? Like, will it be listed out in years, kind of like it is now, or will it be one huge file?
Yeah, so I do plan to list it out by years up into 2000. Everything prior to 2000 is grouped together by decade. The 90s will be by year. Everything before the 90s will be by decade. Anything after that will be then grouped by year, and then either agenda, minutes, ordinances, resolutions, or miscellaneous communications. And that will be how it'll be organized. It will not be separated out by document. So.
Sounds perfect, thank you.
Yep.
All right, next up, we have council committees, starting with City Community Development and Recreation.
Mr. President,
Mr. Wilson?
I'm going to pass to my Vice Chair.
On July 14th at 7 p.m., we discussed the welcome baskets and how well they were received. We were asked to try to estimate the cost of future baskets because it was, of course, we already knew that there was no line item for those types of items, but we'd like to put that in the future. So we're going to try to get a accurate type listing of things we would like in the basket, keeping costs at a minimum, so that next year we will have that in the line item. Let's see here. We talked about that 2 of the homes hadn't been moved into, but we will keep track. Me and Ms. Gaston have been kind of like not stalking the street, but Ms. Gaston had went down on one of the streets where 2 of the homes were, and she noticed that it looks like someone had moved in. So we're going to probably, try to get an appropriate time, and if anybody else wants to join us, that'll be great. And we'll present that person with the basket, and then just keep track of whenever the next person is there. We also talked about, well, more so Ms. Dukestein talked about utilizing our website as the source of information for our city, so we can get all that accurate information and it's all condensed in one area, and we can start, directing people to go there for our resources. Also, Mr. Wilson asked for Ms. Gaston to work with Ms. Chichester to get that dollar amount as far as like how much we'll be spending with the welcome baskets. Mr. Davis was asked about the bike trail grant, and he said he passed it on to Ms. Dukestein. We also discussed the 2026 Juneteenth date, and Ms. Chichester had gave out some great information about how, what day of the week it's going to start. It's on for next year, and also all the resources that she has available. Let's see. And Mr. Wilson had asked about the fireworks for next year, and Ms. Dukestein said that all that information, as far as like sponsor letters and things of that nature, will be passed on to the new recreation director. And then we ended our meeting at approximately 7:32 p.m.
Thank you. Next is Budget and Finance.
Thank you, Mr. President. At the Budget and Finance Committee meeting on July 17th, we discussed the month-end report, the Ohio checkbook. We discussed that the IRS audit would be coming up, and we'll give the update on that at the next week's meeting on August 11th. Oh, I forgot. We discussed old business about the computers that the council will need. So I guess we need to, did we appropriate funds for that in that meeting? I don't think we did that, but I think we couldn't.
We can't appropriate funds.
Not
in a
appropriate,
committee.
excuse me, verbiage is, we needed to see how much it was going to be so that we could see what funds we would take that out of. So I guess we'll discuss that again next week on August the 11th. We'll get our computers sooner or later, but that's it.
Thank you. Next is Public Safety.
Thank you, Mr. President. I actually yielded the public safety meeting to the Rules and Public Policy meeting. And what we basically discussed during the Rules and Public Policy meeting, and much of the public safety meeting, was the Charter Review Committee, and tried to answer questions to try to go into some more details about the decisions that the Charter Review Committee made and why the Charter Review Committee made those decisions. Even after that, unfortunately, nobody was comfortable with moving forward with that. So we have now, our time has expired with regard to amending the charter. So it would be up to the next council, according to Mr. Dieters, to bring that back up, do a new charter review committee, and see if we can actually accomplish that. And that's all I have for both committees.
Thank you. Next is ad hoc reports. Does anyone have an ad hoc report this evening?
Mr. President.
Mr. Davis.
Okay. We Thrive, a sub-shoot of Hamilton County Public Health. They had a meeting here that was July 17th, 2:30 to 3:30 p.m. And once again, there was a debrief of the Juneteenth event, and also work on their active transportation, work and things getting done. And the next biggest thing is, with school starting before the next meeting, it's time for us to update our Safe Routes to School plan. So that's where there's going to be someone from council, likely Principal Dukes Dean. No, I'm sorry, Administrator Dukes Dean, and a representative from the school district get together. We work on figure out the school demographics and figure out how kids are getting to school. So Ms. Dukes Dean, the lady's name is Paige Russell from Hamilton County Public Health. She like a meeting with you at your convenience on getting this Safe Routes to School plan done.
I'm sorry, Mr. Davis, that would probably need to be forwarded over to Superintendent or Dr. Blaylock.
I'll send you the exact message, because she's asking on both sides.
Okay,
So.
thank you.
Okay. And
I'm sorry, I didn't realize you weren't finished.
okay. So the next and other updates. The We Thrive, they've built a toolkit and a binder. That binder going forward will be accessible. It'll likely be accessible on this rack here. And also I want to learn about what I need to do in order to get that information uploaded to the website if possible. And also, We Thrive has a newsletter. The next one goes out for August and September, and we're able to promote our events in the We Thrive newsletter. But the only requirement is every events must be open to all communities, and there has to be an accessible internet link for people to sign up with them. So going forward, the next meeting date is September 18th from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. and we'll be completing a Foundations of Healthy Communities assessment and also working on this Safe Routes to School plan.
Mr. President.
Ms. Gaston.
Mr. Davis, what's the time for the 9/18 meeting?
5 p.m. to 6 p.m.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. Any other ad hoc reports tonight?
Mr. President,
Ms. Underwood.
the CIC had a meeting on the third Thursday of July, and with the new president, Mr. Robert Hall. And he has reorganized the CIC. I'm very excited to kind of get to work. He's appointing people to specific committees to try to work on specific projects. So I think that the CIC will probably be more effective. They're also working on a project where you know, they're trying to purchase homes in North College Hill to then help people who are interested in purchasing homes get financing for those homes, so that we have more homeowners in North College Hill and more stakeholders in our community. And the next meeting of the CIC will be in August, the third Thursday of August.
Is that the 21st?
If you say so.
Okay. Thank you. Any other ad hoc reports? All right, hearing none, we'll move to the administrative reports. First up is the mayor's report. The mayor is not with us this evening, so we'll move to the city administrator's report. Good evening, Ms. Dukestein.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to ask Lataya Miles to come up and introduce herself. She is our new introduce herself. She is the new recreational director.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. My name is Lataya Miles, and I'm excited to work with you all and moving forward and working for the city.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
She's doing great so far. My update just consists of the audit. We had a meeting on, what was that, last Wednesday? And it kind of where council members were asked to come and kind of get an outline or an overview of how the audit process was going to work. I feel like it was very informative for those that were able to attend. Then I'm not sure if council members were aware, but there was a public hearing for the taxes on the 28th, and none of you all attended. We went forward with the public hearing, and it's for the taxes that we need to submit to Hamilton County. So Ms. Stevens, Knott, and I are planning to give you what you would have gotten in that public hearing at the next Budget and Finance, but we did have to go forward with the public hearing just to make sure that we said that we have one. It was online outside here. And we mentioned it a couple times, even in Budget and Finance. So no harm, no foul, but we'll give you the information that you need at the next Budget and Finance meeting. We would have done it at a council meeting, but I just thought it was too long. So we'll just do it there. And then other than that, we have our Party in the Park on August 16th. This week, August 7th, we have the back to school event that our police officers will be putting on, and it's exciting and fun. And summer's just moving right along. So that's it. Thank you.
Mr. President.
Ms. Chichester.
Mr. Underwood would go first. She can't. It's mine. It's going to take a little bit of an answer. She can go first.
Ms. Underwood.
Ms. Dukestein, it's my understanding that we will have to pay an abandoned building cost. What is the cost for our fine for having that abandoned building at this time?
So we are getting those comps. I was not sure how you all were going to handle the legislation that tied. I'm still not clear, being that they decided not to alter the agenda, what that looks like, but I can tell you that it will be close to a mortgage payment on what we would have been paying had we went forward.
Can you give us a dollar amount, just a ballpark dollar amount of what we will be paying every month?
Have you even come close to?
Don't put out a number if you're not sure.
I'm not. So I do not have a number for you, but we will have the number at Budget and Finance.
Are we
It
talking?
was
Are we talking $1?
No.
$100?
mm,
$1,000?
Thousands.
thousands.
Thousands of dollars.
Mhm.
Okay,
Per month.
per month. Starting in what month?
We will need to implement that as soon as possible.
So is that August of 2025, so this month, or September of 2025?
September.
So thousands of dollars starting in September of 2025.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much for that information.
Ms. Chichester?
Ms. Dusting,
Yes.
so was there any citizens at the tax meeting that we held, or was it like no one?
No one.
Would it be a good idea to host don't look at me, y'all, a city council meeting this month to give the public opportunity to attend it again?
Well, we're
Or-
not going to have we need to have another city council meeting, which we were going to present to the rest of council at the budget and finance meeting. We need to be able to vote on the taxes. Summer session really puts us at a disadvantage
Right.
because a lot of things are due come that August, September time. And so we have deadlines that we're working with the county to uphold, and then with you all as well. So we had the hearing in July, then we have to vote on it in August. So because you all weren't there, I didn't want to put a fresh piece of legislation on there without it being before you. So we have to leverage the Budget and Finance Chair meeting, Budget and Finance Committee meeting to give you what that is, and then we'll need to vote on it. So we'll probably, or we should call a special meeting for the third week in August for that.
Okay, you're on the same page. No, I'll save that question for later.
Mr. President.
Mr. Wilson?
So, if we ended up taking on, this is for Ms. Dusting, if we end up taking on this abandoned building fee, what does that look like for us?
Well, until you can figure out, we'll have to take on the abandoned building fee with the insurance. I think we've discussed extensively that
Yep.
this is a timely matter. That is the urgency that is on the
Emergency,
represented in the
yeah.
writing of the piece of legislation. Not only does that indicate that we will have to take on the abandoned building fee, we also have to decide the next steps for the building, and we'll pay for it either until it's torn down or next steps are rendered. Even if you only abate the asbestos, you still are going to have to pay the abandoned building fee.
Okay.
And then you also cannot put the ARPA funds towards a building that's not going to be retained. So at some point, we have a deadline to be able to use those ARPA funds and put that on a project. This has been so belabored. We will either have to quickly move at getting something else started, if we can do that by the end of the year, or we will have to return the funds.
Any other questions for the city administrator? Hearing none, we'll move to the law director's report. Good evening, Mr. Dieters.
Good evening, Mr. President. I have no report this evening.
All right, thank you.
Mr. President.
Mr. President,
I got Mr. Wilson.
Mr. Daters. Do you have a legal look at this? Like, what does this look for us legally?
What does what look like?
On this bill that we will acquire on this building, this abandoned building bill? What would this look like for us legally?
Well, I would imagine the reason why the insurance company is increasing the premium, because when a building stands abandoned like that, it becomes an attractive nuisance, and it's a higher risk of things happening, whether it be catch on fire, whether it be someone is hurt in there, et cetera. So, but there's no legal advice regarding it, Mr. Wilson.
All right, thank you, Mr. Jeters.
Ms. Underwood?
are you familiar with the recent case that came out of the Ohio Supreme Court about public records and what records are available in a public records request? Did you
Been
read that?
A lot of them lately.
it was about 2 weeks ago, I think, 2 or 3 weeks ago. It wasn't a city council, but it was another public body. And I think the public records requests were for the personal devices of the members of the public body. And the Ohio Supreme Court held that the personal devices were not subject to a public records request, even if those members of that public body were discussing city or public business. I'm kind of
I'm not-
paraphrasing, but
I'm
I'm
not
just,
specifically aware of that case, but that would be contrary to the previous opinions that said regardless of where it is, even if it's on a
was.
personal device. Okay.
they definitely reversed themselves.
I'd have to look that up. I'm not familiar with it.
Would you,
look it
can
up
you
right
just
now.
kind of look that up, take a look at that, and just provide something to us,
Sure.
maybe at the next meeting? Thank you.
Mr. President?
Ms. Zorb?
Actually, Mr. Dieters, if you find that, could you send that to us in an email before the next meeting?
I might find it right now.
That's even better. Thank you.
All right, any other questions? Hearing none, we'll move to call of members, starting with Ms. Zorb.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just like to make a couple announcements. I don't know if, I haven't heard anyone talk about this, but the weekend, this coming up weekend, August 7th through the 10th, is the 127 yard sale. It's the world's longest yard sale. It runs from Addison, Michigan to Gadsden, Alabama, and that's straight through North College Hill. If you don't know, Hamilton Avenue is also a state route, and it's State Route 127. So the world's longest yard sale goes through North College Hill, if anyone would like to participate. Typically, the city waives yard sale vouchers for that particular weekend. Ms. Dickstein, do we have something that possibly could take care of that and waive yard sale permits for that weekend?
The yard sale permits are waived. I believe when I read the legislation, the first one is waived. The second one is a certain cost if you participate a third time, and then there's ongoing cost from participation 3. The rules and regulations, because that's not a yard sale, that is ours. So any city expenses we are waiving automatically with the longest yard sale. The expenses or the price to participate is contingent upon that particular organization, which we have been directing people as they've desired to sign up.
To who? Directing people to who?
The organization is doing it. It's not me. I've been directing as they come to me. I've been giving them to Ben, and Ben's been giving them the information.
Do you know who that is, though?
I do not.
Okay. I hadn't heard anyone talk about it. That's why I was wondering. My next question is more for Ms. Stevens-Knott. And actually, it probably has to go to Ms. Dickstein first, so strike that. Sorry. So I am on the board of directors for another entity, and I have figured or found out that they keep their money in a Star Ohio account. And apparently, Star Ohio is paying 4.5% interest.
It's an investment.
Yes.
So,
But I just didn't know if there's any, because we were told we had a $9 million carryover. So if we've got extra money sitting around, perhaps we should look into that. And it's the State Treasury Asset Reserve of Ohio. Star Ohio is an investment pool that allows government subdivisions from municipalities and school districts to invest in a high-grade, short-term securities while offering safety, penalty-free liquidity, and comparatively higher yields. And like I said, I just looked today, they're offering 4.5%, which is, I would speculate, higher than Fifth Third.
Ms. Zorb, yes, we are aware. There are some parameters in which we can participate. And so we're making sure that our finances are solid, and then we can talk to council about how much we want to move into that kind of space. But that is something that we have talked about and plan to bring to council soon.
Okay. Also, I noticed that the first Tuesday of every August is National Night Out, and I have not heard the NCHPD say that they were participating. Are they participating in that this year?
Last year was the first year we did it in coordination with the school, back to school bash, and we do it this year as well.
Nice does it.
So it's not going to be on the first Tuesday in August, which is tomorrow.
No, it's on Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So we will be giving out backpacks, popcorn, bicycle helmets, and got locks all for free to our citizens.
Perfect, thank you. There was one other thing that I would like to just put a bug in everyone's ear, especially the city administrator, that Resolution 9, 2023 was a resolution to ask for requests for proposals for the installation of the splash pad at Dumley Park. And I guess I just didn't know where that ever landed. Did we ever get the RFP for the splash pad?
We got estimates that came back from all of the original places, and they had tripled. So the last we had dug into it, it was at like 700. It was expensive. So it was very close to $1 million for a splash pad when we have other necessities. So the primary concern is that we would want to be using some of the ARPA monies for that, which if that's what you decide to do, that's fine. But we do have some things that need to get done. So I just kind of feel like we should focus on the things that we are required to do. Our resources, finances particularly, go a lot further when you dedicate those ARPA funds or just grant monies towards the things that you need to do, and then we can kind of be at pace with things that we would consider extracurricular, so that we can do it in a pace that we can afford it.
Thank you. That's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you, Ms. Zorb. Next up is Ms. Gaston.
Alrighty. Good evening, everyone. I would like to congratulate Ms. Lataya Miles on her new role as Recreation Director. I truly believe that she will be a blessing to everyone that she encounters through her leadership and service. Again, congratulations. I just wanted to extend a heartfelt thank you to all of the incredible community partners who came together to make sure our young scholars are prepared for a successful school year. Whether you are hosting one now or you're planning to do one, your generosity is seen, felt, and deeply appreciated. I wanted to give a special shout out to Miss April Taylor for volunteering to meet families at the school flagpole. That's going to be tomorrow at 5 p.m. In a world where we often feel divided, prayers has a way to just bring us all together, and I just want to say thank you, Miss April, for standing in that gap. I also wanted to shout out to special people, to Miss Donna Bruner and Miss Mashallah Alexander, who helped volunteer with me and other residents to do morning movements with neighbors. We had a beautiful turnout, great energy, and even better conversations. We've mixed mingled. Some people went out for breakfast, met new neighbors. My body thanked me afterwards. So I just wanted to let everybody know that the citizen-led stretch location is going to change this month, but stay tuned. We're excited for that. Looking ahead, we have Party in the Park. We have a lot of people signing up. I get emails, I feel like every minute, and I'm super excited that everyone is excited for that. We have a few spots left for the pet parade and for the bake-off, so if you can mix eggs, flour, and sugar, come on out. And I just want to end by saying that serving on city council is more than just a title. It's a calling. It's a chance to make hard decisions, but also to have fun and bring people together and pouring into our neighbors. Life is short, and each of us at this table carry talents that stretch beyond this chamber. I'm excited for the events ahead and look forward to seeing how our community will light up with pride and continue to grow together. And lastly, thank you to the citizens who continue to send me yards for the yard competition. The next round is going to kick off in a couple of weeks, and I encourage anybody to come and help judge and congratulate people. That's all.
Thank you, Ms. Gaston. Next is Ms. Chichester.
All right, good evening, everyone. So I wanted to say first, thank you to Ms. Colleen for the spaghetti dinner that we held for the seniors, the fundraiser. I believe they raised well over $300, a little more, probably closer to $400 for that spaghetti dinner. It was a great time to connect with the seniors and talk to some of the partners that decided to visit, which were from Closing the Help Gap, Cincinnati Public Library, and I forget the cell phone lady. They taught the class to the seniors on how to use your cell phones, how to prevent scams, and all those necessities. As I call myself a pre-senior, I am always asking my 20-year-olds for help on my phone to do things. So it was a very interesting and informative class as well. Thank you to the community and the school, the teachers. I've seen some of them preparing for the back to school, and I just wanted to wish the children good luck. I don't think we meet again before back to school starts. And as a public safety announcement, speed limit on Hamilton and Galbraith is 25 miles per hour. Please look for our children as they are walking to school and be safe. And I'm gonna wait till the remarks from the audience. I have a young lady here that's going to speak and tell everybody what she's here for. So I'll pass it along now.
Thank you, Ms. Chichester.
You're welcome.
Ms. Alexander, you're up.
Good evening. I'd like to welcome Miss Lataya Miles as well. I'll look forward to working with her, and I'm sure she'll be an asset to the city. And I'd like to thank Miss Gaston for the shout out. That was unexpected, but I'm always here to serve. Miss Donna Bruner, she's always, I feel like she volunteers me on quite a few things, but I'm happy to do it. I'd like to thank everybody who was connected with the fundraiser. I happened to stop by, and it looked like it was a wonderful success. I would also like to thank Miss April Taylor. I plan on being there tomorrow to usher in some good vibes and Holy Spirit.
Amen.
School starts August 12th for North College Hill. So yes, please be mindful of the little ones and the big ones darting in and out. Be mindful of the flashing pedestrian signs. I mean, it just really, it really angers me when I'm driving down Hamilton Avenue and I can see that light flashing and I see cars still just zipping past, and I'm looking and I'm seeing people trying to cross. So please be mindful. Please be mindful of the crossing guards. They are putting their lives out on the line for our children. They are the first to get out there to try to stop traffic. And I'm glad, Ms. Gaston, you said something about the morning stretch, because I was about to announce, but I'll be looking forward to the new location. It was awesome. August 7th is the back to school event in which all the children will be there, excited, getting their schedules and seeing, the protocols for this coming year. And let's see, is that it? I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Alexander.
Mr.
Mr. Wilson, you're
Mr. President, I'm sorry.
Ms. Zorb.
Miss Alexander reminded me that the flashing light that's at Bising and Hamilton, I think it got hit by a car. It is not there. Is it? I don't know if does that belong to the city or to the school district?
It does belong to the school district, but we would help report that.
Okay. Can someone
I will do that.
report that? Thank you.
Waiting for insurance.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Wilson, you're up.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to say thank you to everyone that serves North College Hill. This is just thinking out loud to my colleagues as we sit here at this table. I want you guys to remember, you know, or not even remember, take in consideration that we have taxpayers out here that, you know, depend on us to make the most structural decisions when it comes to North College Hill. And I want you guys to remember that, you know, as we move forward in the future towards the future of 1500, I just want you to understand that these taxpayers are not interested in us spending money that we don't necessarily have to spend on a building that don't have to sit abandoned. This building can be used. It can be great benefit to North College Hill on so many different levels. And just to sit back and let it continue sitting there looking at us and smiling at us every day, and we walking by and driving by it, and everybody like, well, what's that? And why is it just sitting there? Remember, we are all part of a team, and it's up to us to use our common sense as we make these decisions. And I just want you guys to remember that as we move forward. That's all, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. Mr. Davis.
And in addition, once again, remember the party in the park, August 16th. That's party in the park. It's 1 to 5, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, and also this is cooperation, not competition. Motion NCH also has a community workshop where we're putting together. Hold on, let me actually read what was written down because it's written better than I can say it. This invitation-only event brings together the best and brightest of North College Hill's visionaries and volunteers for a day of collaborating, planning, and networking with fellow NCH neighborhood and community leaders. It is our goal that you arrive with great ideas and leave with new inspiration. These 2025-2026 special initiatives will include the startup and the completion and bringing out the neighborhood alliance, and also community mini grants. And also there'll be a free taste of North College Hill lunch. Everything bought and brought in by businesses and people from North College Hill. So once again, if you're interested, please RSVP by August 9th. Please call or text 513-296-5993. Once again, Motion NCH Community Workshop, August 16th, 10 a.m. RSVP by August 9th, 513-296-5993.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. Ms. Underwood, you're up.
Thank you, Mr. President. I had an opportunity to meet Ms. LaTaya Miles earlier today, and I would like to say congratulations to our very new recreation director. I look forward to the new and fresh ideas that she will bring to the city of North College Hill, and just want to let her know that if there's anything that I can do to make her job easier, I am happy to do that. That's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you, Ms. Underwood. That'll move us to remarks from the audience. Mr. Edger, who do we have signed in tonight?
Thank you, Mr. President. First, we have Umbrea Hightower.
Please start by stating your name and your address, and then we'll start the timer.
Okay, my name is Umbrea Hightower. In the community, you probably will see me on the news as Umbrea Star. That is what I prefer to go by. Yasmin, you're my best friend. Tell me when in 5 minutes is counting. Okay, just give me a. Mr. President, I'd like to acknowledge you first, but to the rest of the council, hello, good evening, and then lastly to the parents. Today I speak to the hearts of parents. I stand here today not only on behalf of myself, but of my brother and a dear friend, Isaac Matthew Moore. He lost his life in 2019 over at the Crutchfield Park on Simpson Avenue. Today I stand here inquiring about a honorary street name. I have been running into issues with Springfield Township. I know that there's a logistic issue between Simpson Avenue. Apparently half and half is North College Hill and the other half is Springfield Township. I had a Juneteenth event also, and during the Juneteenth event, I faced a couple different issues about having it, even though that park is public. And so then once they got wind that I was once they got wind that I wanted to change the street name sign, they created an application that they didn't have before and wasn't listed on their website. And I also know that the city of North College Hill does not have an application as well. But somehow it seems that there's a barrier in place for this to happen. And every time that I mention it, it's, oh, we can give a plaque, or we can give a bench, or we can give something else. Why not honorary street name sign? North College Hill, I spoke with Ms. Zorb earlier before the meeting had began, and I think that only one person had requested, but also in Springfield Township, and they only honored one person who was a doctor. When you look at the list of the things that they want you to qualify for to get an application, one of the biggest things that is loud is deceased. Isaac is not here to advocate for himself, and neither is anybody else who lost their life at that park. Someone, Chris Gilbert, actually, at Springfield Township, told me that 10 others also died at that park. What was his statement? I stand here today not only for Isaac Moore, but for all 10 of them men that lost their lives at that park. My question today is, why not? Why just a plaque? Why just a bench? Why not a street name sign? People don't have to just die and be dead. They don't have to just pass. And it doesn't matter if I pass from a heart attack or if I die from a gun. Isaac was a good kid in a terrible situation. He showed up. He was a man of integrity. Isaac never was arrested. He wasn't a stereotype. He was a basketball player. I'm an alumni of North College Hill High School. Isaac died in his first week of senior year. He was 17. He's no different from a child that died from a car accident, from a child that died at home. He was a good kid in a bad situation. So today, when I speak to the hearts of parents, I never went back and told Isaac's mom what Chris Gilbert told me. Because how do you break that news that somebody didn't see her son as worthy? In the application, it stated Springfield Township does not currently have a policy, that this policy was gathered based off other people's applications. So they made this up and sent it to me. Springfield Township DM'd me on Instagram. That's how I met Kathleen, through my message request. Then they pursued to text me. Then they had a city council meeting without me, and they denied my brother's application when he meets the 5 little points that they have on that application. He qualified for every one. So how did he get denied? How do you tell a mother? How do you tell her that? Isaac's mom hasn't been to a cemetery. My Juneteenth event was the first event she showed up to. We collected over 450 signatures. Springfield Township never asked me about the signatures. They denied it without me being there. How do you take that back to his mom? She sat in a car during her event. Isaac died in 2019. His mom has never came to anything because she can't stomach it. Someone told me that my brother wasn't worthy. How do you stand with that? How do you not challenge the why? I still got time.
You got about 30 seconds.
So today, even if it's tabled, even if it doesn't happen, God sees all. God knows all. I ask you all to sit with this. I ask you all to think of Isaac. I ask you all to just look around at what's happening in our community to our young men. I'll leave you with, I am 24, and I do not settle in life. So yes, I ask that you all consider this. I recommend both plates on both ends, North Bend and Hamilton, to have Isaac Matthew Moore on there because he deserves it. Thank you, Mr. President, and the rest of the council.
Thank you.
Mr. President.
Mr. Wilson.
Can you excuse me for a second? I need to clear my throat.
I think we have to call a recess.
I need one. I need to clear my throat.
Yeah.
A second.
He needs excuse, so I need to call a recess, right?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson, make a motion, please.
Mr. President. I'll make a motion to, excuse me, give me take a recess for 5 minutes.
Mr. President, I'll second that.
All right, motion by Mr. Wilson, second by Ms. Underwood for a 5-minute recess. Any discussion? Mr. Hedger, please call the roll.
Ms. Orb,
Yes.
Ms. Gaston.
Yes.
Ms. Chichester,
Yes.
Ms. Alexander,
Yes.
Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
Mr. Davis.
Yes.
Ms. Underwood.
Yes.
Motion passed 7-0.
We're in recess. Recess, I will call this meeting to order. We will resume with remarks from the audience. Mr. Hedger, who is next?
Next, we have Peg Albert.
I'm Peg Albert from the Ladies American Legion Post. A couple of you stole my thunder, but I'm so glad you did. The spaghetti lunch was absolutely incredible. I came and got a carry-out for my husband and I. We had it for supper. It was absolutely wonderful. I have never had as fresh a salad as we had, and the croutons and everything. It was wonderful, and I really hope that they do it again, because I'll be back. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Pegg. Mr. Hedger?
Next, we have Maurice Thompson, or Thomas.
Please introduce yourself before you begin, sir.
My name is Maurice Thomas. I'm the DAV commander of Chapter 115 that originally was here in North College Hill. But since it seems that this council can't make up their mind whether or not they're going to do anything with that building down there, and we can't get an understanding as to why or what or when, we've had to relocate to Mount Healthy to have our meetings there. We still have items down here in the building. So I'm here tonight because I'm going to take this, it's been 18 months since we've been coming to these meetings, and then we hear, oh, well, we're going to do this, come back the next month, and it's going to do this. I have a meeting, we have our chapter meeting tomorrow, and they would like to know just what is the status. What are you all going to do? Are you going to refurbish the building? Are you going to tear it down, or what? So we'll know what we have to do, and by we, I mean our chapter, to get our what we have in there out. Also, I found out that, you know, our chapter had you all declared a DAV city, the only one in the nation. That's going to be rescinded if we can't get an answer as to what's going on. We also have a Medal of Honor recipient that's going to be here next month. We would have liked to have had him come here, but, you know, we're homeless. We have nowhere to take the individual. So unless, I just heard you all vote on this situation at the beginning of this meeting. And do you want us here or not? That's the question. And we would like to get an answer. Thank you.
Mr. President,
Ms. Chichester?
thank you, sir. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your words. My apologies. I apologize that we can't seem to get it together. We welcome you here to our city. We want you here in our city. I am, along with other council members, are working to come to a resolution. Your questions are valid. What your question was, what are we going to do? I believe is his question. We have a step we need to take before we can make any of the three decisions, but we can't even seem to take that first step to put the foot in front of the other before we can say, okay, we did this part, now let's decide 1, 2, or 3, which would be renovate, tear down, sell. But we can't even get past the first hurdle to make that decision, sir. So,
Mr. President.
Are you finished, Ms.
Yes.
Chichester?
I have nothing else.
Mr. Wilson?
Just want to make it clear. Well, first, my first question is to Chief Cheney. Did something break down with you guys and the DAV? I thought that y'all guys had an agreement to let them use a space or something for meetings.
Did the first meeting and then they moved up to the American Legion. But we talked before the meeting, and I said if they ever need our building again, they can come anytime. So.
Okay. So please reach out to Chief Cheney if you guys need space for meetings or anything. I said he's made it clear that he's more than willing to work with you guys. And just to, I mean, this is just to my colleagues again from my statement. We got to work. We got to do better. We got to do better.
Mr. President,
Ms. Alexander?
I concur. We want you here. We want you here in a safe space. We want the process to be clear so things won't come back and bite us in the tail. I think we all want the same end game, whether it's a tear down, refurbish. We want something good for North College Hill. And yes, we're having difficulty coming on the same page to get there. And, you know, it's taken a long time. It's not a single body's decision. It's a multiple bodies decision where everybody has to be on the same page. And if 1 or 2 or 3, if something isn't jiving, it's their duty to say, hey, you know, I'm not just gonna go with the crowd just because, you know, we're gonna get to a space. We're all individuals. We all have our own minds. I mean, it's just like a family. But we do want you here. You know, we want the Women's Legion here. We want something great for NCH. But I'm just speaking on me. I just can't go with the flow if A, B, and C aren't connected. And until that does, and I'm sure we'll get to that space.
Yes.
You know,
Mr. President.
that's where we're at.
Ms. Dukestein?
So I was going to save my comments to the asks at legislation, but I'd like to address DAV. Thank you so much for being patient as we navigate what it looks like to bring our city and that city building into whatever future existence it should have. But with Ms. Alexander's commentary or comment, I'd like to ask council, what is it that you're confused about? Because I personally extended an invitation for everyone to provide asks, and I had a meeting where those were at the Budget and Finance Chair meeting, Budget and Finance Committee meeting on June 9th, where I answered those questions. I replied back via email to those that were not in attendance. I actually supplied a packet with absolute clarity. I heard Ms. Gaston say when we had the SORTA meeting, it would be nice if we could have a presentation like that. I provided a PowerPoint. I provided what the legislation was asking me to do as administration. I talked about the ARPA funds. I gave quotes all the way back to city administrators, 2 before me, and even all the way back to Dan Brooks. We asked if there was an issue with the contractor to merit the contractor's worthiness of being able to do the work. We talked about the encumbering of the funds and why it had to happen that way. There are some more requests out there, a records request from citizens, but I feel like council has had a firsthand at being provided the information. I think it's extremely unfair to say that you haven't been provided the information. And so I don't know what to do next. I don't know what you need for next steps to progress. As a city administrator, I didn't have any hand at the modification of the piece of legislation that came out that gave permission to go forward at stabilizing the building. Mr. Dieters can tell you I had absolutely no hand in that. So I took that piece of legislation that council passed. I provided answers to questions. I personally reached out to each and every one of you, with probably the exception of Ms. Zor, but she emailed me her questions and I went through the list. In fact, her particular email dominated 90% of the meeting on June 9th because I went through her asks line by line by line. The legislation tied. It did not fail. It did not pass. You all were asked today to amend the agenda for it to get a fair vote. If you all are waiting on the citizens to make a decision about the direction of this building, you all are responsible fiduciarily for city and buildings. That building is dilapidating. If we don't do something quick, and 18 months has not been quick, we will lose the opportunity to even do anything with the building. Citizens' buy-in is extremely important to me and should be to you. But you would not hold this same rhetoric or situation if this was your own home in this condition. You would have moved faster. You would have considered DAV. You have considered American Women's Legion. I saw a citizen get up and say that was a former employee that we are more comfortable in this building. I was very happy to have the spaghetti dinner. We are revving up to develop the senior programs and the programs in this building. There were meetings by city council members that were not attended. You all are meeting in a recreational, multi-purpose room. We would love to do some things to help facilitate and bring this building and use this building for the purpose that it is. None of you sit with the discomfort of that we have as we are in this building trying to navigate. I personally move tables and chairs and put your desks and your spaces back. Miss Colleen Ellis does. She's a senior herself. Everyone pitches in to accommodate. I think council's probably the least uncomfortable in this situation. So I am asking for you to tell me, what else do you need? If you are wanting the building to be torn down, then you need to put a piece of legislation out there and tear it down. ARPA funds will not be used for that. Fair, that's fine. But either say what you need from me so that I can do it, because I jump through every hoop and it's never enough.
Ms. Dukestein, or Mr. President.
You know, we've had discussion after discussion after discussion. I am not going to sit here for hours tonight and discuss this now. We're going to refer it back to committee. I don't really want to sit here all night tonight and discuss all, you've said your piece.
But I have one thing. If committee's next week, if you all, every time I ask and you don't want to talk about it, I email, I supply, but we still get the same result. So if you're wanting something to talk about in committee, then a conversation needs to be had so that those things can be itemized and listed out for you in committee.
Okay, we will continue with remarks from the audience. Mr. Hedger, who's next?
Apologies for the pronunciation. I believe it's Susie Withersbach.
You almost got it.
Hi. Sorry, my allergies are killing me, so my voice is a little cracky. I apologize. My name is Susie Whittlesbach, and I'm at 1620 Flora Avenue. I have some quick things. I know I got 5 minutes. So number
Got 3
one.
minutes.
Okay, no problem. Number one, I wanted to thank the city for what they're doing with Galbraith Road about paving it. It's going to look very nice in the end. But I was wondering what the ETA was on finishing it, because it seems like everybody's left, but there's still raised manhole covers and raised pipes, and the come down off of the driveways from the businesses are still kind of steep. And I was wondering if they're going to come back and finish. So that's one. And then number two is Ms. Dukestein. I haven't had a chance to follow up with you yet, but we had spoken about there's Tarawa. That's the street behind Roses. Some of the residents had talked about the fact that some people are cutting through their backyards, coming through Roses, and we had spoken about possibly getting a conversation going with Roses about building a fence that would border that property to prevent people from using that avenue to cut through to the main road. Also, Gloria Drive does not have a street sign. The only reason I notice is my husband grew up on that street, and every time I pass, I'm like, Gloria, where's Gloria? Okay. And then the other thing was, and lastly, it was, Ms. Dukestein, just to clarify, the funds you're speaking about that we could get, that's only contingent if the building is saved, correct? They can only
Yes.
be used for that?
Yes.
So if the building's torn down, they can't be used?
Not for that project, but they could possibly be used for a different project if we move fast.
Okay, cool. So, okay, now that I've said my piece, so did you follow up with code enforcement about the?
I did follow up with code enforcement as it pertains to the fence. Thus far, Roses has not been kindly to that. Would be at their expense because it's on their property. And so you're essentially asking them to pay for something that doesn't bother them as much as it probably bothers those residents that are behind there. As for Gloria, we do know that it is down. It is on our list to replace. And then you had one more.
About the paving, when you guys are going to be
right.
done with that?
So the rainy weather has delayed that schedule. There are more contractors coming out to complete the big hole in the metal sheet that's over it, and then the curbs are going to be built back up.
Is there an idea when that might be done? Are you planning, like, hopefully before fall?
We've had a lot of citizens complain about the curbs and turning in, so we have some communication out to JMA currently. I have not yet heard back from them, but we did just reach out to them. So if you want to email me, then I'll put you on the list of communication. I have a handful of people that I'm communicating back to about the timing and the curbs.
Okay, because it might be nice to put something, maybe, because a lot of people are asking about it, maybe if you could put it on your website or something.
Oh, yeah, we can do that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Hedger, anyone else signed in?
Yes, Kathy Curitan.
Hey y'all, Kathy Curitan, 6718 Devonwood Drive, a proud resident of North College Hill, Ohio. So I do hope we're all doing well tonight. We've had some really good things happening in our city. I want to first talk about the 1500 building, the sign there. I am still so shocked that the Juneteenth announcement, Ms. Dukesty, that okay, I sometimes like to make eye contact. So, the 1500 building, the signage there still is announcing the Juneteenth event. That's well over and gone. We have an event coming up on the 16th, Party in the Park. So I'm wondering if you can work with your staff to ensure that the announcements are timely for the city. I don't know if anyone knows. Raise your hand if you know that we have a new permanent fire chief in the city of North College Hill. Raise your hand. So do you see that? Our citizens don't know, but council only knows. We have a new permanent fire chief. We could most certainly utilize that sign. In fact, the only announcement that I saw that was actually untitled was a Facebook Live. I didn't see anything on the city's website or any other correspondence says, well, we have a new fire chief. That's not nothing to sneeze at. Or, I mean, yeah, he's committed here. And so I would appreciate if there's an appropriate announcement of such an accomplishment for the city of North College Hill. Can you just maybe, and I don't know who this is directed for, Ms. Dukesty, I'm going to ask you, if there is a new senior citizen who moves into the community, how can they be made aware of activities that are happening at the senior center? I'm going to ask these questions and then you can answer them. And then I also want to go back to, move forward to, kind of go back and forward with this fire chief announcement. I kind of feel as if we didn't give it the thorough due honor that it's needed. I was glad to be here to support him, but I think in such a high capacity in a role, if there, when you were appointed, or excuse me, when you were hired for your role, it was an announcement. And I think it's important that the citizens know who exactly is serving our city in an administrative role, especially as chief. And then the last question that I have for you is relative to Mr. Davis. I don't know if you can address this or not, but it's about the Metro partnership. So I know I was present when Metro gave their phenomenal top of the line presentation. They are interested in putting a bus depot in the parking lot for Roses. I just want to find out where council is on that. And I just want to clarify something. If you don't know, you'll know tonight that I'm very thorough. And I look at dates, I look at timelines, and I look at efficiency. Ms. Underwood, you said that the timeline passed for the charter review. It's actually August 6th. I was on that committee with you. I served with Mr. Dieters, our mayor, and other residents who volunteered a lot of time. And I'm a little disappointed that the actions to present this to all of council outside of committee and a full presentation. I'm also a little discouraged that it won't be an option for citizens to have their way in as it has been in the past. I'm not saying we needed to implement everything, but I think it would have helped out if there was a complete presentation made available of all recommendations versus just having a 20-minute conversation in committee. Very last topic, and I'm so glad because I talk a lot. Ms. Dukesty, I want to clarify with you on the ARPA funds. Can you confirm the date that those funds have to be exhausted by?
1 minute.
Yes, sir. Can you confirm the date that the ARPA funds have to be exhausted by?
I'm going to email your responses.
Sometimes I don't get a response. So that's why I ask these questions publicly so that we can have it on record. Sometimes I don't, and it is what it is. I'm just asking, if you know the information, maybe I should ask this question. Do you know the date the ARPA funds have to be exhausted by?
Not the exact date.
Okay, all right, then that answers my question. Okay, and that's all. Let me make sure. That's all I have. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Curitan. Mr. Hedger, do we have anyone else signed in?
No, Mr. President.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for your participation tonight. We will move to legislation. before we do the third reading for ordinance 4, this ordinance was on the agenda for special meetings last month. It was tabled to this meeting, so it is on here for a third reading. Mr. Hedger, when you're ready, please read.
Yeah, third reading ordinance number 4, 2025, an ordinance authorizing the Regional Income Tax Authority, RITA, to withhold a fee for subpoenas issued to residents for tax collection purposes and appointing Shiva Stevens Knotts as the city's delegate to RITA.
Mr. President,
Ms. Zorb?
I'd like to make a motion, we adopt ordinance for 2025.
Mr. President,
Ms. Gaston?
I second.
Motion by Ms. Zorb, second by Ms. Gaston to adopt ordinance 4-2025. Any discussion?
Mr. President,
Ms. Underwood?
I just have a question. I just want to make sure I'm understanding that in addition to what we're already paying Rita, they're going to withhold an additional fee for the subpoenas?
For any subpoena that is issued, that is correct.
Okay.
Can I give context about the fee that we're paying currently?
Sure.
So currently, though they withhold 6.75% of all things that are collected, we actually got a 50% rebate at the end of the year. So this dollar is minor to collect more dollars. They, as an organization, they average about every city or averages about 2% is the cost of their receipts.
Mr. President?
Ms. Orr?
Ms. Stevens, not just to clarify, I heard you mention the $1. The subpoena part is just an additional $1. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that is correct. For each, it's $1 per subpoena, and it is an administrative subpoena.
Thank you.
All right, motion on the floor from Ms. Zorb with a second by Ms. Gaston to adopt ordinance 4-2025. Mr. Hedger, please call the roll.
Ms. Zorb?
Yes.
Ms. Gaston?
Yes.
Ms. Chichester?
Yes.
Ms. Alexander?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Ms. Underwood?
Abstain.
Motion passed with 6-1 abstention.
Thank you. That is all we have by way of legislation this evening. So if anyone wishes to, if anyone has remarks from the audience here as it pertains to this ordinance that we just adopted, now's the time.
Hi, this might actually be for Mr. Dieters. I was a little late to the meeting, so I apologize. But when it came to the resolution that was discussed when I was walking in, Mr. Dieters, I think you stated that there wasn't enough people for the vote to count. Was there something in that order?
I don't think this is in reference to the
It is.
legislation you passed.
It is.
No, it's not in reference to this legislation
It
that we
is,
just
'cause
passed.
with that, this legislation was also read during that meeting, and it was on reading number 2 when we were at that. They were both done at the same meeting. So if the resolution didn't count, then this shouldn't count. This should be on.
This was tabled to this meeting.
It was tabled.
This
That's why
was
I was
tabled
asking
to
for
this meeting.
clarification. So this was tabled to
Correct.
go over on this meeting. Thank you. I was just asking for a moment of clarification because everything went very quick. Thank you.
All right, we'll move to old business.
Mr. President,
Ms. Dukestein?
I just would like to remind council that their computers are on the way. I'd also like to ask that if there's anything that I plan to ask Ms. Chichester to put 1,500 on the Budget and Finance meeting for what's coming up. And if you have any additional concerns that you would like me to answer between now and then, please do send me those so that I can be prepared to come to that meeting with your answers.
Anyone else have an item of old business? Hearing none, we'll move to new business. I would ask that we put Ms. Ambrie Hightower's request on Public Safety Committee at your next meeting, please, Ms. Underwood, to discuss.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. President?
Ms. Zorb.
Believe I sent you a piece of legislation prior to tonight's meeting that I would like to have assigned to a committee, if you don't mind. And it is regarding 1500.
Yes, so you did forward me some legislation. I would like for that to go to the Finance Committee, since that's where all those discussions have been. So can you send that to the members of Finance Committee as well?
I sure will. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. You're okay with that?
Yep. I have additional items. May I keep going?
Go ahead.
Also, for the Finance Committee, I'd like to make sure that we discuss an appropriation that will need to be written for Iron Mountain.
Mr.
And
President.
we also need an appropriation for the laptops and an appropriation for the welcome baskets.
Ms. Stevens-Knott.
There is a plan to have appropriations for all of those items as an additional ones in our Budget and Finance Committee. It's going to be a long meeting. So all those things are coming.
Perfect, thank you. I have one more thing, Mr.
Go ahead.
President. I would like to make a motion to appoint Ms. Brielle Gaston as the alternate for ICRC. I don't believe we have an alternate for that position.
I'm just saying we had already talked about,
All right, I have a motion on the floor to appoint Ms. Gaston as the ICRC alternate. Ms. Zorb is the primary contact with ICRC. So need a second.
Mr. President.
Mr. Wilson.
I'll second.
Motion by Ms. Zorb, second by Mr. Wilson to appoint Ms. Gaston as the ICRC alternate contact. Is that the proper term?
Sure.
Any discussion?
Mr. President,
Ms. Underwood.
I just want to make sure, is there anybody else who's interested in that role? I mean, I'm not, definitely not. I'm just making sure.
I don't
that
want to dismiss your
the
question, but I've never had
exercise-
anybody volunteer for anything, so.
Right.
Mr. President.
I'm just making sure.
Mr. President.
Nothing.
Ms. Gaston.
I am extremely interested.
Well, hearing no one else say they're extremely interested, we have a motion on the floor to appoint Ms. Gaston as the ICRC alternate. That motion by Ms. Zorb, second by Mr. Wilson. When you're ready, Mr. Hedger, please call the roll.
Ms. Zorb?
Yes.
Ms. Gaston?
Yes.
Ms. Chichester?
Yes.
Ms. Alexander?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Oh,
Mr.
definitely,
Davis?
yes.
Yes.
Ms. Underwood?
Yes.
Motion passed 7-0.
And I will correct myself, Ms. Chichester is correct, that people have volunteered for things before. All right, any other new business? I'm sorry, you're finished, correct?
I am.
Any other new business?
Mr. President,
Mr. Wilson.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Mr. President.
I think, even though you drown her out, Ms. Gaston actually started first.
I would like to second.
Motion by Mr. Wilson, second by Ms. Gaston to adjourn. Any discussion? Mr. Hedger, please call the roll.
Ms. Zorb?
Yes.
Ms. Gaston.
Yes.
Ms. Chichester.
Yes.
Ms. Alexander.
Yes.
Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
Mr. Davis.
Yes.
Ms. Underwood.
Yes.
Motion passed 7-0.
Thank you. This meeting is
Anybody wants
adjourned.
to stay